Hey there, paper geeks and glitter nerds. It's Anna, the crazy geek crafter, and welcome to 2024 and a new look. I've been fiddling around a bit in my off time with this mini-me, and I'm trying to incorporate it into my videos. But this first video of the year is inspired by the weather at the moment here. In Denmark, we just got a record amount of snow. In some parts, not all of the country, but in some parts they broke the record. We did get some here. I think we have about 10 centimeters, but since it's very cold, the snow is flying everywhere and then gathering in big hills. So I had to go and shovel a bit at the front door, otherwise we'd get snow inside. But it all worked out. I'm gonna start out by stamping this ice skate. And coincidentally, I saw someone skating on a road when I went shopping earlier this Friday here. I use a full stick post-it note to make a mask, so I can have two shoes on this card. I don't think it'll be that important whether you can see it's a lefty or righty shoe. I don't think that much of it is going to be visible, but if you're worried about that, I don't have any clues as to how to fix that. What was I saying? I was going shopping for dinner, and on one of the side streets, there was someone, I guess a kid, on skates on the road. It's that cold here. We also drive very slowly at our local supermarket. There's ice, a lot of ice, and most people don't notice. We noticed yesterday, and today was even more careful, but even though we were careful, we slipped about a meter past where we were supposed to turn because we couldn't stop on the ice. And they're saying this will last at least a week, maybe more. It's not often we have this much cold. It is mostly cold at night, and then during the daytime everything thaws, but it's gonna stay for a while, they say. So people who love to skate and who love to ski are very happy at the moment. So my mask is done. Normally I actually do 3 or 4 masks at one. When I'm cutting it anyway, it doesn't matter. But I didn't want to fight with it. It does hurt a bit on my hand when I cut multiple post-its at once. So I just did the one. I didn't think I'd ever need multiples anyway, so this was a good solution in my opinion. And I saved the mask. I put it on here on the back side of the stamp so I can stick it back in its packaging. Let's just clean this off first. I do want my skates to look like they're connected, so I'm just gonna draw in a tiny string, and for that I use a Copic multi-liner so it won't bleed when I color in my skates. I use the smallest size that fits almost with the thickness of the line from the free scoop stamps. I think it's more like 0.1, but when you draw sometimes the line can get heavier, so I always pick a size smaller than I think I need. That is quite on purpose. Just squared off my piece of cardstock here, so it'll be a nice panel for my card. And now I need to let it dry for a bit because I like the hybrid ink from MFT, but it does need to dry a bit before you start doing anything to it. So let's make a background panel. I'm doing it in this light blue color, and I have no idea about the brand. It's just something I have in my stash. I think I even got it in a thrift store or something. So finding the brand will be near impossible. I use an old mouse pad underneath when I am freehand stamping. I'm going to use the free Snowflakes. I'm just going to put them all on one block, then stamp it out with some Versamark ink, and cover it in white embossing powder from Wow. Unfortunately, I forgot to press record for the first panel, and it also turned out horribly wrong. I smeared some of the snowflakes, and I forgot the anti-static powder, the talcum if you prefer. I remembered it for the second panel because both turning on the video and the talcum, because I had already I had already given myself given myself a stern talking to about forgetting these crucial things. And I found some pegs to try and hold the cardstock so I wouldn't burn my fingers. I thought everything was going well, but some of the snowflakes really didn't want to be sticky. So some of them are only half covered, and it wasn't perfect, but it was better than the first one, I can tell you that much. Whilst Video Me is getting this heat set, I wanted to ask for your help. Will you help me feed Algo? Algorithm is a creature that lives inside YouTube. If you feed it, Algo will lead more people to my channel. And I would be very grateful if you would help me feed Algo. Algo loves likes and new subscribers, and you can do one or both, or sustain altogether, but I would be very appreciative if you help me out here. Unfortunately, I found out that this piece of cardstock has a greenish spot in the upper corner. That one right there. That corner up there. So I had to do something, so I pulled out my new friend here, the Waffle Flower stencil mat, and some Tumbled Glas. I felt it was still a bit dry, so of course it was the last re-ink I got my hand on. It was the right one. But anyway, I used that to darken the edges, and hopefully no one will notice that there's a green tint to part of that corner, because it's actually still visible now, but I think you will only notice it if you've seen this video and heard me tell you about it. So yeah, I do like the gradient. It's not as bad as I could have made it. I could have picked 3 colors and gone to town with the ink blending, but I just wanted to hide that imperfection, that one imperfection. Now I've let my project sit overnight. I figured that to hide the few flaws on my card, I should have something to put on. So I'm going to make some glittery snowflakes with some holographic foil on some Gummiapan white stock with a sticky adhesive, double-sided sticky adhesive on top. Normally you put it on the underside so that you can make stickers out of your dies, but in this case I need the sticky to get the holographic foil on my snowflakes. So I'm seeing how many I can fit on here, and I can actually fit 6. So I think that worked out pretty well. Unfortunately, the cover paper for the double-sided adhesive is pretty slick, so I'm trying to keep it in place as best as possible, and it did. I did manage it, so I'm very happy about that. When working with adhesive transferred foil, it is paramount that you cover up anything that could stick to the foil on the wrong side, of course. That's why I covered the adhesive strip on the packaging with the tape so that it can't stick to anything. I will also, in some cases, rearrange how it is opened to minimize the risk of me getting anything sticky on this side of the transfer. Here I am placing the snowflakes and trying to make sure they stay put while I then burnish them on the other side. I was not diligent enough with my burnishing. There was one snowflake that didn't get completely covered, but I didn't notice until I had packed the foil away, and I really didn't want to unpack it again. But be mindful of that. The adhesive is it's the reason why it's great, but it's also something you have to be aware of. Another thing is that these snowflakes are still sticky, so I dab them with my anti-static powder, which is talcum, in this arrangement I have of disposable washcloths and a rubber band. And now they're ready for the card, but the skates aren't. I still need to color them. So I took out cool grays for the actual skates and just warm grays for the leather of the boot and the heel. I have lost some of my confidence in coloring lately, unfortunately. I am thinking maybe I should do a month-long project where I get back into coloring to regain my confidence. It doesn't help that the lines on the Free Scoops stamps are very thin. They do not leave out much for error. I don't know if you remember, I need to refill one of my markers after doing the book advent calendar project, and yeah, I'm filling it up. I'm trying to figure out how much to put in here. I can't remember. It's been a while since I refilled the last one. That would be my colorless blender. And I can't actually find that refill. It's a bit embarrassing. I have to go looking for it. So I needed to refill that so that I could use the lightest colors to make some shading on the boots. I'm shading around the seams and the I think it's called the tongue, the part in between the laces. This is why voiceovers are so interesting, because you learn a lot about your own vocabulary and where you're short. And I think I actually learned these terms from doll makers, of all people. I love seeing people who redo. Yeah. Yeah, that happened. I overfilled my my pen, I think. But I'm uncertain because look at what happens when I pick it up here in a moment. It just pisses out one end. And I don't know why. I don't think it's supposed to do that. So I'm uncertain whether my pen is broken or I am broken, but I have to look it up before I try refilling the next marker. I may have overfilled it, but it seems weird that it just ran out one end. So, but I did get some splatters all over. Luckily, the splatter only hit unimportant things, like the background I'd chosen not to use and some papers I had on my table. Nothing went on the actual image I wanted for my card, luckily. So there was a bit of cleanup and some contemplation about how not to do that in the future. But I could move on to card base, and then the snowflakes, and then the card will actually be finished. It's impressive. It was pretty fast. I didn't put a sentiment on it because I don't know what I'll use it for. I'd had this stamp and now there was snow everywhere, so I figured I'd use it. I have decided to not send out Christmas cards next year, so the plans I had for this stamp has changed. I actually did want to make cards with it, but yeah, it's become far too expensive to send Christmas cards, and I don't want anyone to feel slighted that I didn't send them one or come by with one, which would be the next choice. I used to do that when I was studying because it was still expensive to send things, and it would give me an excuse to go around to friends and family with these. But yeah, I still send out about 20 every year, so that's a lot, and it's all over the country. So of course my country is very small, so it's not that far. I think if you're lucky you can drive 500 kilometers in one go in my country without going in circles. I didn't really do anything else to this card. Let's see it shimmer here for a bit and then a close-up. But I hope you enjoyed the card, that you'll be back next week or on Wednesday when I do a live. Until then, I hope you'll be having a good day, evening or night. På gensyn.